Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning, Pop. How are you, buddy?
I am all right.
Excellent. Excellent. How's my sound quality with this new mic?
Sounds pretty good right now.
Okay. Good. Good. Well, how's the last 2 weeks? Give us updates.
Well, I found out that on the stiletto, trying to get it to scale up here, it is just a little big for my printer. Just the body part here. We got two halves here. You can see, pull this up. So right now it goes together with these pegs. I have a little cardboard model of the hinges that I haven't put on yet. But at this size right here, it just overhangs my capability by about an inch. But what I'm hoping is I can find somebody that could just FDM print these two parts, the top and bottom, in red, and then most of the spaceship would be red for the project. Reached out to a couple of people. I'm hoping somebody can fit it in. Maybe somebody that's not going to DFW and has some time to put these two parts on their printer and run them.
Nice.
So that's kind of the newest update. I made a couple of modifications. I put a scoop here so that when the back piece goes on, it clears it a lot better than the OG. The OG, it almost touches the fin back there. But it is it's coming together pretty nice.
Cool.
Started working on the cockpit, how many pieces it's going to be. I don't want it to be part of the top like the original toy, because I want you to be able to piece it all together and put it inside and then put it together. So I got to finish out the connections for that, and then finish out how this hinge is going to work, at least for what it's going to do to this up here. And that way, when we print them, this part of it is completely finished. I also made this symmetrical on the original toy. They're different. I like the symmetry a little bit. We'll see what happens if I leave it like that or not. But for now, pretty happy with it. There's still about a week's worth of stuff to knock out on it, and then everything else will be. I really want to find somebody and get this figured out who can do this for me, because I'll need about. We got the workshop will hold 15. I haven't heard how many we've sold, so I'd like to get 18 or 20 made, because I'd really like to do one, put it together, get it all cleaned up and painted, and then take that as an example.
Yeah. For
us to work with. But that's where that is right now.
Awesome. Well, we got a few people in the chat this morning, so get some acknowledgments. Son of a Crown Slayer, good morning.
Good morning.
Dan the Toy Man. Hey, how is going, everyone? Going good, Dan. Hope you're having a good morning. Thanks for joining us. Of course, we got son of GTO, Greg Harris, in the chat. Good morning. Zakanen has rumbled his way out of a slumber. He probably only went to bed 3 hours ago. He's probably been working.
That's probably generous.
Cliff's in the house. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mother.
Good morning.
Gombani, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Jetman, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Same time, toys. Shane's in the house. Hello, sir.
Shane?
Greg says it looks good. Shane says, I so can't wait for this. Absolutely awesome.
Thanks, Shane.
JB's in the house. Good morning, sir. Officer Doofy. Good morning, Moo.
Morning.
Shane says that's correct. Well, you did a little better than me. I went to bed about 3 o'clock, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I was working on this project. I did almost all of it last night.
This project?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did last time with the Astro suit.
Yeah, I decided to go do a U method. Just save it all up, you know.
Right.
So I'm dragging a little bit this morning. I'm fucking exhausted still.
Well, I'm sure.
But we're here, and that's a good thing.
We are here. Has there been any new releases this week on the Joe side of anything?
I don't think so. I think that's coming this week. Tuesday, I think, isn't it? Or is it Monday?
Yeah,
it's this week, though. Pretty sure.
Yeah. You guys were talking about the Tron cycle on one of your streams.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was funny that because it's what $99, right?
Right.
So that means is it $20 smaller than the Despoiler? I just think it's funny. The price of everything is just getting silly.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Rain Man is making all the prices, so everything's going to be about $100.
About $100?
About $100.
Let's see how far we can push it and before people say, like, hold on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So somehow I'm just really doubting in my head that the Despoiler is worth more than the All Striker, which was already underwhelming.
That's what I thought. I mean, when it came out, I was like, wait, that's more than the Stinger was, and the Stinger was a lot more of a toy.
Way more.
Moving parts, holds 2 figures. You know, I think they've heard people talk about the Despoiler so long, they're like, oh, they really want this. So let's just give them all 8 inches.
Oh yeah, they did. I didn't know if those were real, but
I mean they're up for pre-order now. I mean they're
so weird.
That does absolutely nothing for me.
No. I mean this year has been really the first time where I was seeing stuff released that I was just kind of like meh. And it's kind of gone. And the whole entire last 12 months has just kind of been, that feeling has gotten more and more to the point where I'm like, I don't need the number, you know?
Yeah.
Like if and I'm all for them coming up with stuff that hasn't come out before, but.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I do like that. But to already have that repaint of that set. Right.
What
the onion and relish ramp rats.
That was a joke.
Okay.
The onion and relish one was a joke.
I was hoping the price point of the Despoiler was a joke.
I was too. Yeah, I was too.
Because I had heard that about those, and I thought, okay, maybe everything we saw this week we should take with a grain of salt, because there's probably some other jokes in there.
Sure. Like
$110 for a figure in a vehicle that is.
It's a small vehicle. I mean, $100. It shouldn't be that much. It should be the same as like a ferret.
Yeah.
And even that I feel is generous because the ferret again has moving parts. But you know, it'll sell. I don't want one. I like the Destro because Destro always looked cool, but the asymmetry always bugged the shit out of me.
Yeah, on the leg.
So now that they fixed that, I'm like, okay, this is I'm into this. I'm into this. So hopefully I can scoop up one of Woody's extras while he's fitting despoilers on half of his army. But
in that would make sense, because we don't really have anything. It looks like we're getting into Iron Grenadiers a little heavier now, but we really don't have anything for them to drive or ride.
No. And most of their stuff was bigger. I mean,
yeah,
Grenadiers didn't have a lot. I mean, 2 people. I mean, you had Darklon, right? He had the despoiler. Was that what he had?
No, Darklon had the
Evader.
Evader, yeah.
Evader, that's what it is. Yeah, so Darklon had the Evader, which that's a cool looking vehicle, you know. And then you had Destro with that had
the winged box.
The wing box and a demon to plug onto it, right?
Right. So yeah, you know, and then, you know, the AGP, the flight pod. I mean, they had some vehicles that weren't necessarily great big, you know, but at the same time, like now would be a good time maybe to do a repaint of the claw in Iron Grenadier colors, or something, you know, something else. I don't know. I can't tell. It looks like they're making the same mistake they started to make in the late 80s, where they're so focused on making something for everybody, they're not really hitting home runs.
True. And it was definitely, it was easier to do back then because you had, you know, 12, 15 figures in a line and they were on pegs all year.
Right.
Now you've got a fucking 2-month window to pick up one of 6 figures. And then we're waiting 6 months for another, you know, quarter of a wave. Like it just, it's hard. They make it hard to be a collector, and then distribution is, you know, has never recovered. It's still terrible. And then stuff's popping up at Ross and Ollie's, and you're just like, well, fuck it. I'll just wait for Ross and Ollie's. I mean, if you're not going to make it generally available to me, then why am I wasting my energy trying to hunt for it?
Well, I used to really dislike that, you know, mindset, but it seems like this last year there have been things that people are going out of their minds about that are now showing up at Ross and Ollie's.
Yeah, that's just it. As a fan, it's a poisonous thought, because while you waiting, you're not showing Hasbro the numbers they need to see out of the gate.
Right.
But when it's partially their fault that it's not even available to you.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter whose fault it is on distribution, if it's Walmart, Target, or Hasbro. It doesn't matter which one of those companies is at fault, but Hasbro ultimately, you know, will end up paying the price, right? Because if they don't sell stuff, they'll be like, well, nobody's buying G.I. Joe except on outlets, you know.
Right.
And as a company, they're not going to be like, normal people would be like, maybe our price point is too high.
Yeah.
Hasbro is going to be like, well, nobody wants the stuff because they're not paying for it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Even though in the last
they're definitely going to take the shitty look at it, because it's
right.
You're very much that.
The whole tariff thing and everybody preemptively raising prices. It's not just toys, you know. It's a lot of other things. All these companies raised prices on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think I would feel like, because Hasbro has stepped into the illusion of selling direct with Hasbro Pulse, which is an illusion, right?
Right.
So since they've stepped into that, you would think they would be like, okay, what is the price point that makes them buy from us rather than waiting for a tertiary source, which would be Ross, Ollie's discount stores? What would make them be like, oh, I should just pre-order all of this from them and have it and not have to hunt at all? Or I could potentially, you know, wait for Walmart, Target to cancel my pre-orders, and I could try to go to the store. What is that price point where we're doing just fine, because at no point did we need to hike up a whole figure $3. Like, come on now. Come on. These are fucking container ships. I know the containers are expensive, but you're talking about millions of figures. So you just raise the price on, like, that's just, it's absurd. But
yeah, when you think about the scalability of that, when it's not just 50 cents, it's like $3. Like, why?
yeah,
What are you doing now that's worth $3?
right.
What did you change? You're not like in the first few waves when they were in a box, and each one, even though I didn't like all of the art, some of the art was pretty incredible.
I loved the idea where they were using different artists, and I thought that was really cool. Like, yeah, I didn't like all of it for sure. I mean, I hated Outbacks, I hated Cover Girls. Like, yeah, there was some terrible stuff, but then there was also fucking Major Blood in there, which is one of the coolest pieces of G.I. Joe art ever.
Yeah, Major Blood. Flint's is pretty good.
Flint's is good.
Some of them are really good from then. And instead of, to me, instead of like, I don't know what would have been wrong with just picking one artist and run with it.
It was cheaper to find one guy that could write prompts in AI. That's what it was.
Well, that's what's going on now. And, I can see AI from both points of view, but sure. I feel like it's just taking it out of it.
Hey,
all right, Endo. Have a great day.
Ooh, be productive, my man.
Get it done. So yeah, I just kind of, I don't know. But this is the last few waves have been the first time in a long time where I was just kind of like, I don't care enough to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's weird for me because I feel like for the last probably 2 years, it's been heavy Joes and light legends, and I feel like this year or the last 12 months or so has flipped. Legends has been fucking killing it, and Joes are kind of hit and miss.
Right.
Like I'm buying them, but it's to do stuff with them, because I'm not the collector most of y'all are. So what I want on the shelf is pretty nil. I mean, but
well, and for me, the way I see it is I am a collector. I don't buy that much, and in the last couple of years I've scaled way back on what I do buy. But if you're to the point where you've got somebody who used to buy everything just because they wanted everything, to where they're saying like, no man, pass.
Yeah.
Like, for that to start happening, maybe I'm the only one. I don't know, but I just feel like they've just taken away some of it. And I don't know. Sometimes when I watch the lives and stuff, I'm always like, the hype of it kind of makes me laugh. Like I've been collecting them since they came out originally, since Real American Hero came out originally. You're kind of like trying to do revisionist history, like say this is what everybody wanted. Everybody wanted this wrench to come off. Like, not really. Like, but does that mean you're going to add another $20 to this toy because you made an opening toolbox? Like,
yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
And then and then like seeing the swamp skier, like that thing's just. I mean, what was wrong with the original design?
Shitty, yeah.
So that I just think it's kind of like I'm not sure what's going on, but I feel like if you're getting to the point where you're losing people, and I'm not complaining about the releases because we've had pretty good run of OG figures,
Mm-hmm.
Wetsuit, mainframe, sci-fi. Sci-fi is a great figure. Budo is a great figure, and I didn't think I'd ever care about that figure that much, but getting it in hand, like, this is a good figure, and we had no idea something like Desert Scorpion would happen. And then I've seen some of the leak lists, and I'm just like, I think you guys are missing the point here.
Just with what they're doing, like you said, like they're trying to appeal to everybody, and they're doing all, they're trying to work in all of the sub teams and stuff, but that's difficult to do now as a constant feed because they were done years apart from original releases. Like, those were waves that came out 2-3 years later. Not we're going to throw you in a Tiger Force and then 2 years later we're going to give you the regular, or we're going to mix in a couple of, Night Force with these, but these two Night Force characters aren't actually Night Force characters. They just happen to have a similar color palette, so we're just going to jam them in there. That's Big Ben and Shooter for anybody not catching that. It's just like you're competing with your own ideas is how it seems to me. Like, they're like, well, we don't know. We don't want to focus, on one thing specifically, which I get that, right? I get not wanting to do a whole Tiger Force wave or Python Patrol or whatever. I get that 100%. That doesn't make sense, especially when you're only doing 5-6 figures at a time. But now you're mixing in retro cards with regular releases. And the regular releases, there's not a lot of difference between them. Like, I kept thinking that the standard classified line was going to be like new update, new versions, advanced technologies. Like, let's pretend this is, 45 years later than the character was designed. Let's just go ahead and let's just play along, and then do retro cards as retro versions. Exactly what you guys want, as far as like, I just want the 86 fiber. Like, I just want Flint. Perfect. G.I. Joe retro. But now they're splitting those up. And then there's not enough differentiation. The fucking Techno Viper is, I guess, 2 fucking Pantone shades lighter and a silver gun. Why, dude? Why? Why not make a classic Iron Grenadier and lean into that a little bit? Just a fucking 100% classic Grenadier, And then with the regular classified stuff, do an IG Heavy, a newer idea. But the competing is just like, and then Grunt. Like, I appreciate you trying to get like that forest green color that he seemed like he was on the card art, but you already did a Grunt. You just take off the fucking plate carrier and it's OG Grunt.
Right.
What are you doing, man? I just don't get it.
Yeah, that newest wave of retro is underwhelming.
Half-ass at best. Man. It's just, I think that's part of what's killing it too, is instead of there being passion, whether legitimate or not, instead of there being the illusion or presence of passion to sell you it, we're just generating hype and creating FOMO so you don't want to miss it.
Right.
And that's
in the leaks, there's 2 Energon characters. And it's like, why not just do an Energon wave?
Yeah, sure.
Just do a wave.
That's what I'm saying. If you've got retro and you've got standard classified, you can gamble a little bit with the classified. Just stay true on retro. You can do some weird shit. You can do fucking time traveling cowboys or whatever the fuck that dude is. It's a cool idea. I pre-ordered that motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a cool figure.
Yeah, it's cool. It's new. It's fresh. It's interesting. But I'm not gonna order that fucking Techno Viper. Eat my shorts, dude.
Yeah, that's just terrible.
Yeah, they did the same thing with the eel, but at least the eel, people love eel.
It makes more sense to me when it's a figure that I can't go on Amazon right now and buy for $21.
Well, that's for damn sure. Yeah,
Like
that's
here Cooter just said this, and this is a perfect example, right? A figure that is hard to get, or $40 or $50.
yeah.
Go ahead and do that. Go ahead and do one of those on the retro card, slightly different figure,
Mm-hmm.
but back to retail,
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I felt about the eel and the snow serpent. Both were both figures that were pretty difficult to find in the original release. So give me those,
Mm-hmm. But they didn't do that with Major Blood. Like, you re-released Major Blood. Why would you not put that on a retro card? Why would you do that? Not do that, but re-release Cobra Infantry from the first line for the fourth time.
Right.
Why, dude?
It's not like the retro. It's just a packaging option. It's not like it's honestly, when you really think about it, it's kind of a rip, because if you're
It
going to
is,
sell
because
retro,
they're substituting pieces for nostalgia.
yeah, well, not just that, but they're using parts they already have. I mean, so they've done a couple of things in there, like Duke was pretty cool, but it's the same price as the regular line.
Right. Yeah.
But you're putting less stuff in the box.
Right. But you got retro packaging.
But you get retro packaging, and then you get Flint's retro packaging, which makes me not even want to display the figure in the package.
Yeah, that was terrible. So terrible that they called an audible and slipped a few mysteries in there.
Right.
Well, you done bad. Now, I mean, with Wild Bill, I like that one. That makes sense.
Well, that makes sense.
Making a HasLab character available to everybody, and it's different. And I don't care how little it's different. It is different. And the guys that had Wild Bill originally, you've had him for like 3 years, two years.
Sure.
Like, you had your time. Let everybody else get it. It's a different version, different color. It's fine. I'm good with that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But general releases, come on.
And that would be a good one. If
Archie back and Snow Job both. Put Snow Job on a retro card. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, just those are two figures that are very difficult to find, and you could make the entire wave Arctic centric if you wanted to.
I don't know. Maybe that they're gonna do something like that when the two Arctic vehicles are out, or before they come out, whatever. But they're doing the 3-pack, the Arctic 3-pack of the Cobras, right? So, I mean, maybe they do that with Snow Job. I know they said Iceberg was coming, so there's still a possibility they could pull their head out of their ass and forecast that, but will they? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange. You go from thinking like they're not going to do anything else for a while to all of a sudden they're telling us what they're going to do, but the plans are almost a year out, and it's like, okay, how does this fit in?
Mm-hmm.
And not, I think you and I have talked about this before. When I was a kid, I had no idea what was coming out. Like, I didn't know. I go into the store and that's what's here, and then on the little catalog in there, it showed me all the stuff that's in that wave, and like, oh crap, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And so, and you could usually see in that they had some, like, oh, we're going to do a bunch of figures here, and then, oh yeah, we did all those 2000 guys. Here's this DJ figure that peg warmed forever.
Yeah. Because out of context, that figure's retarded.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible compared to the other line.
Right.
And then in the comics, basically introduced Battle Force 2000 and killed them all.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do or what their plans are. So it just doesn't make sense a lot of the time. It feels so random.
It's strange. It's very strange.
I'd love to know, like, what they're using as a metric, or if it really is just like random name generator, you know? Like, did they have people that are in, you know, like chat rooms and, you know, like they used to have like guys on, you know, forums and stuff that would report it back to it. You know, do they have those people? Do they listen to those people? I don't know, because they're super disconnected from fans. They don't do Joe Cons anymore, so they don't have direct interaction anymore. They've severed that. All you get is Comic-Con, and you put out people that it really feels like maybe they're fans, but Hasbro put them. They're the face. They don't give a shit about their opinions.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe Lenny has a you know, a 1% of an opinion. You know, he can sometimes listen to it. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it's so, you know, and I always talk about Flash because for 3 years now, pre-order lists and leaks say we're getting a Flash or a Grand Slam or both, and it's just like, well, and people say, well, if they give us the OG 13, there's a lot of people that are just going to quit the line. Well, if all I want is the original 13, you're not getting any money from me until I get the original 13.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that is hard to understand. If that's the reason you're stringing me along and that's why you won't release those last two characters, that's dumb. I'll just quit the line and wait till somebody says, hey, Flash and Grand Slam are out on pre-order, and I'll go order them and be done.
Yep. That's what you're doing.
That's not a good reason it's a terrible reason to not finish out a year or a team. It would be really nice to be able to.
We'll stop buying it if we make the thing they really want to buy.
Right.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense, but I've seen several people comment that, oh, you know, well, if they do that, then nobody will buy them. But I'm pretty sure there's a pretty good bunch of you that don't really care about the OG 13. And even if you did want them when they came out with them, you would complain because they shared parts with all the other original 13, which is the whole reason why we are nostalgic for the OG 13 is because they look like one cohesive unit.
They look like a team.
Yeah, so, but that, you know, even that said, you know, the 83 line is my very favorite, and I feel like as far as really trying to do that military theme, 85 was the last year. Yeah, I mean, they came out with figures that were military, but 85 was kind of the last year that the good guys were more grounded. And then after that, we got more, you know, sci-fi and
start mixing in fast draws and psych outs and sneak peeks. I think most are. I think that's what most people are, but it's hard to do when it's not available to you. Like you have to fight to collect it. Hey, Kirby.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like there's like three different faces of it that are all causing fatigue. There's the chase. Well, the hunt now is the hunt for the best price.
Yeah.
You know, when I was collecting, like, especially like Spy Troops, Valor versus Venom and that stuff, the hunt for me was going into Target or Walmart and they'd just put a bunch out and I could finally finish those figures out. Now the hunt is, okay, well, if that's the Target exclusive, let me just wait till it goes on sale. I mean, look at the diver set, right?
Yeah.
Like they bring that in at a ridiculous price point, and it has gone. Same with the Hawk and or Steeler and Short Fuse set.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, okay, you're gonna have a good bunch of people that are gonna just buy them as soon as they see them or pre-order them or whatever. But then you got these people that are like, man, I don't feel like that is worth that. If you're gonna put two figures in there, don't charge me more than two figures cost.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't care if you put extra shit in there. That's great, but I know those pieces are costing you like 3 or 4 cents a piece to include.
Bingo.
So don't act like you've gone out and created these unique pieces that only go to this set. No, you're reusing shit.
No, you literally just ran a mold, and those were the pieces in the same mold. You're just including shit you made. Like, it's insane. I mean, I know people like to bring up like the figures shouldn't cost as much because we already paid for the mold, but that's not how that works. Okay, I think we can accept like that's not how it works. The first year a car come out, it doesn't get progressively less because you already used the fucking stamps to make the steel. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
but when you are making a 2-pack and you're using lots of reuse, which is fine as long as it's clever, as long as it's a good use, and you're dumping a bunch of the same fucking accessories, don't charge me for the same accessories. I don't want Dusty's gun any more now than I did when it came with Dusty. Give me a FAMAS or fuck all the way off. Like, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, classifieds can stop including rifles. Just put a sidearm, knife, rocket launcher or something. Just quit. I'm not using this shit. It's terrible.
Yeah, most of it is pretty
terrible. Johnny put some respect on his name, KUK. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
Pete, I am a huge FAMAS fan, and I
so shitty.
I hate that gun so much. So much. The way the bipod is set up, the optic on it, the proportions on it.
It's like somebody that is not familiar with guns tried to draw one from memory.
Mm-hmm. Well,
honestly, and that's how a lot of classified feels. Which
this is not really meaning to pick on comic book artists, but they remind me of comic book artists' renditions of real guns. Some comic book artists will literally like have a library of like Ron. He's got a library of different scale shotguns and pistols and stuff. So when he's
Dave
doing
too, right? Doesn't Dave do that shit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or Doug is who I was thinking.
Doug does that. Definitely, Doug does that.
Doug puts it into perspective so he can draw the right angle, and so he's really anal about that stuff.
Yeah, as he's gotten older, he's more particular about that, and I think that's because he looks back on his stuff and he's thinking like, I could have done better. So now he's like, when he does stuff for Call Sign Longbow, he's always like, okay, send me pictures of exactly the gun this figure comes with.
I still think it's funny that he goes to you because you're that guy,
right?
Like, you're a gun guy, obviously, but you're also an artist and understand exactly like what he's talking to. Like, was it last year, the year before, when we were sitting in the lobby talking to him when he was waiting on his shuttle for the plane? That was cracking me up, dude. He's very, very particular.
He is. He takes a lot of pride in it, which is great.
That's awesome.
I got a couple of pieces I want to get him to sign at DFW this year.
Yeah.
My Stargate Awe Striker and my G.I. Joe Starfighter boxes. I'm going to get those signed.
Nice. That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely agree. Hey, Larry, good morning, sir.
Morning, Larry.
Yeah, a lot of times to see the guns, yeah, I think of like, Dale Keown's like Hulk guns, or what's that guy, Delbedo, that did the Order of Battles, which I fucking hate that art.
You hate that art?
I hate that art where it looks like they just like there's a gun and then they just like glued everything to it and then added 1,000 lines to make it look like it has texture. Like looking at his Firefly like makes my chest like tighten. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? What am I looking at? Why does he have 8 different sizes of magazines? He's got one gun. Just bugs me.
All right, we got almost 20 people in here. You wanna go over our figures? I'll start this week if that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have the box by chance? We show the.
Yeah, I got slides or I got pictures.
Oh,
here.
you got Pixie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Let me fix this. And all right, so the assignment this week was to take this Neca Emissary 1 Predator and make it classified scale, make something with a classified scale. Now, you guys know the NECA stuff is big already, which at the time this thing came out originally, this was a nice piece because this gun scaled pretty good with classified at the time this came out. Now this one is a repaint, re-release. The original, none of this was highlighted. This whole thing was just brown. Camo pattern's exactly the same, but the accents are different. I didn't realize that till I was taking this one apart. How does it scale and how did it, I knew that it would work with classified because years ago I made this Saw Viper custom back when there were only like 12 Joes. I made this Saw Viper custom and it is using that chest piece. So I knew it was possible to make it work with GI Joes. So I had to figure out what I wanted to do, and for me, it kept popping in my head the MNU soldiers from District 9. I like the way that looks, and also I love Scout Troopers.
Sure.
So I thought, okay, that's kind of the theme I'm going to go with. So I decided to go ahead and use the other half of this set. And here you can see the scale difference.
Substantial. I mean, the Predator's larger than some of the NECA figures anyway.
Right, but he's really lean. He's really thin in the waist. So that does help. But, there are pieces here that are useful. And so I decided to do a little boil and pop some stuff off, and then I stripped the paint. So this is what I ended up using. I ended up using the chest piece with that flap on the bottom cut off, shoulder pads, elbow pads, the waist. I cut that part off the waist because it's still a little big. I ended up not using the pack here, but I did use the knee pads. And I did turn them upside down for my build because they look better with the boots that I did. So I am going to show, here is what I did. I stole Arnold's sunglasses from the NECA Old Man Arnold figure.
Oh, okay.
I just used Hawk's head. I like it. I like that head. I hadn't used it for anything, the extra one I had. This is the full barrel Duke rifle with an actual barrel on it instead of anything goofy. The armor is properly tattered up. Not much to say about the back. I will say that this NECA, the armor parts are really soft.
Yes, they are.
Really soft. And I don't know if the Predator itself is like not symmetric or what, but getting the armor to go around the body on a body this size, because this is just a Cobra torso, was a challenge. There it is. You can see the actual barrel on this. Yeah. That's what cool. That's what I ended up with. Yeah. So
That's badass.
Thanks. So that is what I did. That was my my concept. I didn't this time. I'd already was in the mode of painting white because of the Astro suit last time.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of thought, this armor would look cool, and that's what I thought ever since I first looked at this armor. It reminded me. I know it's not anything like the MNU armor from District 9, but it just had that look to it, and I wanted this to look like he's worn this armor more than once on occasion. I thought about making him like a riot trooper, and then I was like, nah, we just maybe some kind of fancy security or something. I don't know. That's what I ended up with.
Okay. Well, it's very different than what I did.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. All right. Well, let's see it. Ready.
Just bring up my extra camera because that works better for me.
But I will say that if you find one of these for cheap and you do want to do something like this, the pieces are extremely easy to get off that Predator body.
Oh yeah, yeah, I mean, very very easy.
You boil it and the glue goes to crap. And
all right, so this is what I did.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So obviously I used a Skeletron base figure, and then I just wrapped that over it, pulled the straps in, and glued them down, so it actually fits this torso very well. And did the shoulder pads, just glued them on top of the armor that already exists. Same with the knee pads. And then Baron Ironblood has that cool V on his white suit. It's a black V, so I thought since he's I named him the Red Phantom, so he has a white line, and then hand painted the Skeletron symbol, and then it's
that's cool.
A head I was gonna use for a blackout custom, and I've had it painted, and I was like, yeah, that looks evil as shit.
That's great.
And then on the belt, I just cut out about a half an inch of it and pulled it together and glued it, so it floats. It's not glued down or anything. So
that turned out really well.
He's pretty sick. And the stripes just end on the top there.
Sure.
And then I just weathered him out. I painted him all black, and then I painted some of the details gloss. So like the inside of the suit where it's ribbed. These pieces, these ribbed portions. His torso has a lot of gloss, but I mean it's obviously covered up. But yeah, I was looking at like Red Shadow stuff, and there's no like nobody does anything with blades on that team. Like it's so I was like, this would work. This fits. This is something new, something different that looks like it belongs.
That is really cool.
So, yep, that's him. The Red Phantom.
That's pretty cool. Neither one of us went with like a standard operative.
No, nothing. nothing standard about either.
Yeah, that is awesome. Turned out good.
Thank you.
Well, a couple more bangers for the for the reels.
Absolutely.
I really liked how this one turned out. That the arms, the gauntlets painted up really nice that were on that figure.
Yeah.
I really almost like broke into a desert scorpion to use his shins, but
yeah.
I had the tripwire model, and I was kind of like thinking like I need to find out how to do stuff with that body, because there's other stuff that could be done with that body. So now I have it set up to where I could do other pieces and armor and stuff like that with that for that boot that'll fit that good. Those just slid right on and glued on. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was fun. That was fun. And that will be the last build up for a month or two.
Yeah. Now we've got to get ready for DFW and Joe Fest. Not so much stuff you got to do for Joe Fest, but I have to do stuff for Joe Fest.
Yeah, I think that mine will be a lot less for that time frame, but
yeah, you might just be printing some more of those stilettos and stuff to bring for people or something. But
and kits.
Kits.
I'm hoping we'll have that recon kit, the first one of these build-ups we did, with the helmet and the chest piece, a couple of other little pieces that you can use to make those.
Nice.
Just something quick and easy, so you can find your own belt and then build it up.
Hell yeah.
There's other stuff, and then we'll have the gun packs. We'll have the gun pack again, but instead it'll be obviously the gun that I did for last week, which was that gung ho gun.
Mm-hmm.
It was fattened up a little bit and has an actual barrel on it, and then this Duke gun that has an actual barrel on it. Just some stuff like that. That a lot of people like that gun, the way that it's shaped and stuff, the Duke gun. But obviously the tip of it is dumb, and the way all of them that Hasbro ever makes are bent.
Yeah, they're super warped.
They're warped, and I don't know what that is, but even the newer ones that have come in packs are still warped the same way. That's really strange.
It's gotta be something has to be fucked up with the mold or something, where it's just tweaking them just enough.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Either something sticks in the mold, and when the ejector goes to pop them out, it catches it, and when it catches it, it puts a little bend in it, and then it just gets worse as it dries.
Yeah, gotta be something like that, because you'd think it would. If it was a first wave issue, it would have corrected itself, but it's not.
Hey, I'll be right back, bud.
Okay. Oh, hello. Yeah, so he'll have weapons kits for the science fiction rifles. Of course, we'll have the other ones. The action assault trooper. We'll have. I don't know if he's going to have any astronauts, so I'll ask him about astronauts. We'll have Thunder kit. That is rangefinder helmet and a machine gun in there, which is is that the Beretta he did for that one? Yeah, I think it's the Beretta, which is actually. So I believe that kit comes with the Beretta here, which is actually Alpine's gun, for those of you that care about getting the real stuff. And then he also has the Walther MPK. We'll have those available, I'm sure, as well as this, as well as sci-fi kits, which is the gun, the helmet, the chest piece, the bracers that slide over the arm, as well as the backpack. He'll have those kits. We'll have Dragonsky kits, which is again the flamethrower, the helmet, the chest piece, and the tanks. We'll have those. Whoops, drop the stand. What else? What else do we gotta have? The recon kit, of course, which if you need a little refresher on what all this nonsense means, this would be your recon kit. So it's this rifle, this helmet, and this, the chest piece is actually from so it's this helmet, this rifle, and I'm trying to remember what else comes with that one. I'll ask him when he gets back. And then we've got the action assault kit, which is what these are. So that's a helmet. This one has the visor. There are some that don't. It's these pockets that glue onto a dusty harness. It's this modernized L85. Some are suppressed, some are not. And then what else? Gauntlets, and this ring that plugs into a hole on Duke's belt and this belt, and then you can snip off Dusty's knife that goes on his leg, and you can put that in there. Hey. I was going through some kit offerings stuff we'll have. Do you still have Astro suits?
We are going to have. That was what I was getting ready to say before I had to run off there. We're going to do a run of them with the new chest piece and the new feet and shins, the boots.
Nice. Okay. With the
we'll do a run of those. When I run canopies for the stiletto, then I'll run a bunch of clear helmets. So we'll have a bunch of nice new helmets.
New bubbles. Okay. Great.
Bubbles. Yeah. And then, honestly, we'll probably have the flight pack should be done.
Sweet. And then what all comes with the recon kit?
The recon kit, make yourself big there. I'll look at it and I'll tell you. Okay, in this kit, you'll obviously get that rifle. That rifle, the Astro Suit rifle, and a shorter version of that rifle will be in that sci-fi gun pack. Okay. So you'll get this helmet right here, a set of gauntlets, and probably that backpack that is like the Astro Suit backpack, but without the connectors on it. Or this will have the Astro Suit connector system on it with a new backpack.
Okay. So does it also come with the chest piece? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what you'll get, and then the rest of it is kind of up to you to customize. I don't know if I'll have thigh panels by then, but I should have shin guards. So shin guards, gauntlets, that rifle, and chest piece, helmet, backpack.
Nice.
So for production, that chest piece will have basically the Astro Suit connection on the back, so that you could just put whatever stuff out of that you want.
That makes sense.
So whatever backpack I have, if you're
this is the Astro Suit back for anybody that doesn't know.
Yeah.
So this is what he's talking about with the connectors. So the backpack will just snap into those holes like it does for the Astro Suit torso.
Whichever backpack. So it can be the Deep Six style backpack, which is 2 tanks.
Right.
The Astro Suit backpack, which has 1 tank, a radio, and a med kit on it. And then the flight pack would fit with that too.
Nice.
So I'll have once the flight packs are done, I'll bag up a few of those separate. So if you already have the Astro Suit, you can buy that to upgrade it, or whatever you want to do.
Nice. I get it, Johnny. I get it. I do a lot of joint prep to make myself comfortable selling figures so they can be moved and posed at least to some degree. So
yeah, joint prep sucks, but it makes it so much less stressful. Especially if you're selling it to somebody.
Yeah. Barbecue helmet. Like instead of a head, Jetman, is that what you mean? Like a removable barbecue helmet? It's interesting. Dave says he needs 2 more of those bubbles. Ah, cracked one. Yep, that happens.
It does happen.
That is not true. That is not true.
Dave, are you going to be at DFW or Joe Fest this year?
Well, I'd imagine he'd be at Joe Fest.
If you're gonna be at one of those, I'll bring you a couple more bubbles. He's
only a few hours away, I think, if I remember right. Awesome. Yeah, good luck. Hopefully they show up and get you a big bag of cash.
Big bags of cash are tight.
Big bags of cash are tight.
Yeah, so we'll have, like I said, we'll still have those kits available for anybody that hasn't ever bought an assault kit. The L85 is scaled up a little bit now, so we'll have those. Everything we have will be updated parts. So I got to go through all the inventory and swap out the rifles, and may make a slight barrel change on that gun to make that barrel not want to pop off so easy. Guns. I dropped one on the carpet the other day and it popped the barrel off of it.
Jesus.
And I thought, well, okay.
I honestly, I almost always use the suppressed one. I just like the look of
it. I love the way the suppressed one looks, so that's how I am too about it.
I say you just put the suppressed ones in the kits and then just make the regular one available.
Yeah.
I think so. Because they're, like you said, they're more durable. They give that spacey look because it's not just a barrel, it's the hexagonal looking suppressor.
Yeah, I really liked that. That seemed to really fit that design really well with that suppressor.
It does. You did a really good job with that rifle. It's really good. So I have action assault kits, commander kits. If you want to upgrade those, I think we still have that shit.
We have a few of those left. We do have a few builder packs left too that comes with a flint or Duke body and the pieces, the dusty harness.
Okay, cool.
I think we have 2 or 3 of those left. Usually, especially at the show, we do a deal when you buy both. You got the Dragonsky kit, the Zukov kit.
Sci-fi. I showed both of those. You got the Thunder kit, which is Thunder's helmet, visor, sight or rangefinder, and then was it the Beretta or the Walther that comes with that one? That's the Beretta, right?
That comes with the Thunder kit.
Yeah, the
Beretta comes with the Thunder kit.
Yeah, so
the artillery kit.
That's the Beretta that comes with the Thunder kit. So it's a small kit, but it's good. And then what does the MPK come with?
It just comes. The only thing it comes with right now is in a kit. You can buy just the Beretta and that gun separate.
Oh, okay.
Together.
I couldn't remember if you did a 2-pack that was like the MPK and an MPL, or if
no, I just it was the MPK and the M12. Those were the 2 that were in that pack.
Okay. So those are just little kits if you just want some weapons. And then he said like his those more sci-fi weapons that he's got.
And what the shin guards that I will do for the recon trooper, right. I'll sell those separately. I'll have those in little baggies too. So if you want to do the you don't want to use a flint or Duke body on the other, you'll have shin guards you could add.
Okay. Cool.
Because those are not as easy to get as they used to be.
No,
but
they're
I also
not.
got to make them so they fit on the dusty body, because that's really, we told y'all we'd have a cool kit for the dusty body, and that recon kit is that kit. So
I think if you just put like a flat tab raised in the inside of it a little bit where you could put glue and it would stick to the laces.
Yeah.
I think that's really all you need to do. Because right now you just have to glue it flat, which could get in the way with the ankle or the boot swivel. So if you just lift it off a little bit where it clear like the blousing on the pants, I think it would be.
And the Flint's shin guards are a lot shorter than the Duke ones too.
Yeah, and they're not. They look like pads, not plates.
Yeah, so maybe something like that. But anyway, we'll have a way to just take an entire dusty figure, whether you got whichever one you got, and turn it into a. And I will say on the desert dusty, the first one, like, it really doesn't take much to take all the brown off of that, all the camo off of that, to have a nice
to have a
base color to paint.
Golden sand colored figure.
Mm-hmm. And it's not a lot different than the original figure. Oh, it is. It looks a lot more like the camo on this figure. So this is kind of what that, for anybody that doesn't know, this is what that kit was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's
this figure.
This kit was to pay homage to that original Palatoy figure. Plus a little update.
Plus some updates, yeah.
So I think that's all of your kits. That's all I can think of.
I think it is. Like I say, everything will be there that we've had, plus the new Astro suit, the updated one. And that also, I think we've only sold like 14 or 15 of those.
Yeah.
So that pretty much makes it so that if you got one of the black ones, that makes that one even more exclusive, because that entire, the chest and the legs, lower legs, the boots are totally going to be unique to that first wave.
Nice.
I don't have it up here. I thought I had the Astro suit up here. I don't. It's downstairs.
Nice. It'll be a Joe Fans. Oh, okay. Greg says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to need a trailer for my scooter for all the Valiverse and everything else I'm going to buy." Right on. Pass over here, bro. Kirby, I'm not sure at this point if I'm going to make Joe Fest. Trying to get out of debt, plus girlfriend and I are trying to get a place. Well, if you get rid of the girlfriend, it may settle the debt. I don't know. Just throwing solutions out there, buddy. I hope we see you. I hope we see you. But I get it. JB says Millworks incorporate a thin piece of aluminum in the barrel. Interesting. Well, that'll raise your cost.
Yeah, I thought about that too, especially if you 3D print it and just run the barrel hole all the way through the gun.
Yeah.
And then you could put a piece of that. You could even use tubing, which would be even more structurally sound. But like that brass tubing, you could buy at Hobby Lobby.
Mm-hmm.
The sticks of it that aren't flexible. Like, then you just trim that down and put it in. But that adds a not just the cost of the material, which isn't much, but the cost of
the labor of it, though.
Yeah, cutting all those to the right size
But that would definitely do it.
Oh, Curb.
All right, Kirby, I got you, buddy. I got you, buddy. Yeah, right on. I don't know if I showed this to you, but and decided I wanted to do a Vietnam style Major Blood, like a pre-Major Blood.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You saw this? So I've been working on it. So I was looking at like what the SASR? Was that what the Australian was? It was SAS something, right? SASR. So I was looking at like the weapons that they use in Nam, and they used FALs a lot, but they were like modified.
Yeah.
And so I was looking at one, and it was like the short one, and so I did some wraps on this one with tape. But then I saw they made 4-in grips on one, so I modified this one to have the 4-in grip, and I was trying to decide which one I was going to use for Major Blood. But I like that compact one; is very commando.
Maybe he just needs one hanging off his shoulder, like he carries 2 of them.
He just picked up an FAL off somebody else. Oh, Johnny Cock giving us Canadian $5. Love this format of show. Wholesome YouTubing. Mike, can you put something like Young KUK next to your screen name next time? Gotta keep it class. I appreciate you, dude. Let me get you.
Thanks, Johnny.
Let me get you a little something, okay?
Any tips?
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
You got a Benz, I got a busket. Give me $1.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Yeah. Yeah, so I was looking at lots of their loadouts, and man, the Aussies were really like all over the place. Like, and they were really just pick this, pick that, pick this. Like,
yeah, they
even like what they wore was like, it was just like there's like, it looks like there's no uniform. Like, they were like, hey, we're gonna send you to Vietnam to do some shady shit. And there's like, all right, just grab some shit. Let me go. All right, let's go.
I'll grab some trousers on the way.
Right. But I mean, you look at like Max Saw guys, and they're like in fucking jean shirts with a Mike Force top, like they're all over the place too.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought about that.
Oh yeah.
Especially if you really wanted to do something cool where you, like on the Astro gun, like if you made made room in the battery for a battery, to where you could actually run that guy in there. That would be super cool.
For sure.
But yeah. I've seen that.
That is pretty sick.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff to do, but man, I'm not, I don't know. It's like I don't know what everybody really.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know like what everybody really wants and what they would, go for. Always wonder about that. I'd like to hear more from everybody at the show. Morning.
Like what like accessories they're wanting?
Well, what features they would, be happier with, or something, they'd really like to see. And I really, I really stay away from a lot of G.I. Joe stuff because I just assume it's going to get made. And I know just from my own personal experience, where I bought a kit, built something up, and then the Hasbro version comes out, and I'm kind of like, now what?
Sure. But I mean, I don't know. It seems, I don't know. It's kind of, I guess it's hit and miss because, Hasbro may do a good enough job where people are happy with it, but they may also completely fumble it.
Right.
Like,
I'm still pretty sure it's going to be a while before they do V2 sci-fi.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, it took that long to get V1 Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
and he's in the cartoon a lot, and they got a real hard on for cartoon stuff.
yeah, they do.
Which
is fine, because by doing that, then they at least give us more accurate and non-touched up version, But even sci-fi, the classic helmet and gun would be nice. I started working on the gun, and then started working on this stiletto, and
yeah. I do think that would be worthwhile, the classic sci-fi gun, because that's really what he's missing. Gave you helmet options in case if you wanted to do the Pursuit of Cobra style, the model with the full faceplate, which I appreciate because I love that look. Because to me, it's like people wear welding goggles, but most people wear hoods.
Yeah.
And if you're doing laser, assault, like I'd probably just want the whole thing covered up so you don't have fucking first-degree burns on your mouth. But, OGs are OGs, right? I mean, I think stuff like that, but like what Gridiron did, right? What they started out doing was Hasbro would fumble the bag, so they would come up with the OG equipments, Now they've kind of ran off from that, now they're really kind of doing their own stuff to just accompany badass vehicles. So I mean, I would think that's the kind of stuff to lean into would be, but I don't know. I don't know what everybody else says. That's just me. But also the update.
It also helps if we have a custom of something there to see, like that's what you can do with it,
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, for sure. Because you see that with anybody even when they were doing casting before 3D printing was a thing, like,
right?
You'd cast new stuff, but if it was like a head or something, it's a peach colored head. What does that mean? But then if you have painted models, you're like, oh yeah, I got to get one of those. I want that. This doesn't feel much different from that.
Yeah. But I always wanted to do science fiction stuff, so that's kind of when I had the opportunity, I thought, well, this is a chance to do some of that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we got anything else we need to discuss?
I don't think so. Can't think of anything right now. I got several projects going on, so.
All right. Well, our next show, like I said, we're not going to do any build offs. We're going to hold off on that for a little while. So next show will probably be majority updates
And just an official go through of what we'll have on hand.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, it was repainting my Star Wars guys and building military models, and then customizing O-ring stuff like crazy. One of the first customs I ever made was a dock head on a Destro torso to make the Terminator.
Solid.
That was one of my first ones, and then I can't remember the name. EV something. There's a robot in Return of the Jedi that burned brands the droids, and I painted him all silver and made him a Terminator endoskeleton.
Mm.
Yeah. So those were probably my first two like real in-depth customs.
Nice.
And I was breaking apart O-rings way early, and whenever Sergeant Slaughter came off, you can mail away for him. I mailed away for bunches of them just so I could use his arms on gung-ho, because I played with gung-ho all the time and always broke his thumbs. So I would order Sergeant Slaughter's just to get the arms, get big beefy arms for him. But yeah, that's how I started off, and then always did that. Even and when the Spy Troops and Valor versus Venom stuff came out, man, I customized the hell out of those. I made armies of bats in in more correct colors, and put LED lights in their guns and shit. I went crazy with it, and I was just using parts from Radio Shack, because we didn't have Temu back then. And I did a ton of 1/6 scale customizing. And I got into casting when Mikey was very small, and started making weapons and stuff. Made a pretty sweet Cobra Trooper helmet for that scale, and knee pads, and
Grenade launcher for the AK.
And a grenade launcher for the AK. I customized a ton of 1/6 scale stuff, and then I just kept going. And I'm a boat. I spent years in the marine industry designing and building boats, so had a lot of experience with molding and all that, and just used all those things that I learned and applied it. Like I said, we didn't have where you go on YouTube and find a video how to cast something or any of that. Everything was my first molds I made were made out of Bondo. So then as I started learning, I got better and expanded, and then always wanted to make my own toys, so I went with that. That's where I started. You know?
Yeah. And then I, obviously followed along with customizing Joe's, and started with models and all that stuff. Yeah. And then it just became, I didn't want to pay, $120 for a figure. So I decided to make it. That was with 4-inch Joes, and then 6-inch Joes came along, and about a year into those, they came out with Torpedo, and I decided that would be my scale now. So
yeah,
that's what happened. And now I do some paint work for companies for their toy line. So it's kind of spiraled out of control, really. But
yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, and so to satiate my O-ring passion, I got with Troy McKee, and we started Call Sign Longbow, and did a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter went really well. But then the factory has had a lot of issues actually getting this stuff out. It's pretty frustrating. So I've had to learn a lot more about that side of it than I did at first. So now when talking to new people that say, hey, we'd like to make those for you or whatever, I am much more experienced on what to ask, what your capabilities are, and that sort of thing.
Right.
So it had been years since anyone had made an O-ring out of factory, and so we started like teaching them what had to work and what didn't work. And hell, even back then, like, we had to help source rivets, for the arms. Nobody had the riveters anymore, the industrial style, where it just slid it into little arms and popped it down and riveted on the fly like that. Nobody did that. Nobody done that for years. So specialized equipment, and that factory got on board pretty fast. But then when it actually came to production, we had a lot of issues, because that same year, several other Kickstarters hit right before ours, and I think that factory just like got overcrowded. So we're still fighting that battle, and I'll be glad when those figures finally get here. It'll be nice to fruits of the labor kind of thing.
Yeah. Right on. Well, yeah. So 2 weeks, do another show. We'll have some updates and a comprehensive list of what we'll be offering at DFW. And I'm sure we'll take shit to Joe Fest. We just won't have a booth set up or anything. But if you're needing something, you can't make it to DFW, but you'll be at Joe Fest, reach out and we'll be sure we put your name on a piece and bring it. So it's
Absolutely
not a big deal.
Yeah, and that is very true. When the modern figures came out, everybody wanted that kind of a design because you could do everything with the molds and be done. Just the parts are warm, pop them together, and it's ready to go. Whereas with the O-ring, you have the screw that goes in the back, you have the rivets that go in the arms, you have all these other things to consider. So it instantly made the cost of a 4-inch modern style figure way cheaper than building an O-ring figure. So that was something a lot of people didn't realize. Like it's actually more expensive to pay for the assembly of a O-ring figure than it is. It's worth, you have to insert molds and stuff like that with the modern stuff, but it's cheaper because it's all molds. Once you pay for that mold, then that mold works for all kinds of stuff. So, but yeah, it's crazy. People are always like, I'm going to do that. And right now there are a ton of people making O-ring figures, So there's definitely that. But who knows what's coming up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have anything coming up?
I do not have any shows coming up.
All right. Focused.
Yeah, I really need to get the stiletto ready to print those main parts so that I can find somebody to help me print them. And then the parts that I already know and know how they're going to be, and just start putting them on the bed and start printing parts.
Hell yeah. Nice. All right. Well, for me, this week coming up, we've got Wednesday night, Two Silly Gooses presents JMK Custom Works Live. So Tony and I will be BSing while I do some painting. I'll probably finish up some heads. I've got a whole tray of those that I need to get finished up. This week I'll be working on some Big Bad Workshop projects, which I cannot show those, but know that they're in the works. I have a lot of work to do for them, so that will be most of my painting this week. So I've got that. So tune in Wednesday, hang out with me and Tony. We both BS and I paint. And then Friday, for Figure It Out, what is on the docket? That is... Oh, yeah, it's Yojo Jerk. Jerk's going to be on with us. And we are doing movies so bad they're good. Yep. So that'll be fun. We're just talking about shitty movies that we love. So that's it. That's all I got. So I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday morning with us. Sure you like the video. Replay Squad, appreciate you. Yeah, if you're not subbed, sub, and if you're looking for something specific, you can always reach out to John for if you're looking for having something designed. And if you need something painted, reach out to me. Both of our information is in the description below. With that being said, guys, thank you so much again. Until next time, you have a good one, all right?
Thanks, guys.
Game over, man. It's game over.
Eat my short.
Go fuck yourself. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Flush that turd down the drain. Avenge me! Avenge me!
Thank you. Thank you.